The long-awaited verdict for the Boston bomber has been announced. Stay with us to hear the decision.
The country of Nepal is still being rocked by earthquakes and aftershocks. We will have the update on the region and the missing Marine helicopter also coming up.
The blues has lost its king as B.B. King passes away last night at the age of 89. The world is paying tribute.
So much needed rain covers the county. We'll have your weekend forecast and more on this edition of the Newscene.
Hello and welcome to this week's edition of Newscene. I'm Carrie Bryant.
And I'm Abdi Mohammadi. Thanks for joining us.
The Boston bomber learned his punishment today. The 12-person jury took just 14 hours to sentence Dzhokhar Tsarnaev to death. Tsarnaev was convicted on April 8th of a 30-count indictment. The Boston bombing on April 15th, 2013 killed 3 people and injured more than 200 others.
The search for
a missing U.S. Marine Huey helicopter in Nepal has ended. Nepali soldiers have located the wreckage and the bodies of 3 soldiers in rugged mountain terrain off the Shunkeni village. The names of the victims will not be released until their kin has been notified. The chopper went missing earlier this week after the second deadly earthquakes occurred. There are still 3 people unaccounted for, including a Marine from Camp Pendleton. And the death toll continues to rise in the wake of Tuesday's 7.3 earthquake in Nepal. 125 people are now dead as a result of a second major earthquake. The small country is being rocked by aftershocks, making rescue attempts difficult and dangerous. The shaking also triggered 2 landslides. Nepal was also struck by a 7.8 earthquake earlier last week, killing hundreds with aftershocks from the massive quake as high as 7.3. Now Janae has the latest on the spring storm that has taken over San Diego County. Fill us in, Janae.
Yes, Carrie and Obteen, this storm has brought flash floods to Fashion Valley, Mission Hills, and Midway, as well as coastal areas yesterday, and we can expect more today. San Diego got about an inch of rain and up to 2 inches was recorded for the mountains. We are still on a severe weather alert, and you can expect more flash flooding around the county as we head into the evening. The worst part of this spring storm should be over by 8 p.m. tonight. Drive safely because the rain will bring slick roads. I will have your weekend forecast coming up later in the show. Back to you, Obteen and Carrie.
Thank you, Janae. Now, new details this evening on the deadly train derailment in Pennsylvania. Nate Holmes is here with the latest.
Thank you, Carrie. Thank you, Obteen. As of this morning, the last wrecked car from the deadly derailment has been removed from the scene. The cars were taken on a long flatbed truck to an Amtrak facility in Delaware for further investigation. Crews confirmed all 234 people on board the train have been accounted for. 8 people have died. The last body was pulled from the wreckage yesterday morning. Investigators say they have been watching the video taken from inside of the train of the exact moment it went off the rails. It was traveling 106 miles per hour, but the speed limit was only 50 miles per hour. Friends of the 32-year-old engineer, Brandon Bostian, says he is distraught over what happened.
Very upset, and he's very sorry. I don't think there's any foul play or anything like that. He was never one to do drugs.
I'm very pleased to report that we have contacted the engineer, and he has agreed to be interviewed by the NTSB, and we look forward to that opportunity. We will be meeting with him in the next few days.
At the time of the crash, the special positive train control technology that would have automatically slowed down the speeding train was not installed. It's supposed to be installed on all U.S. railroads by December 1st. The CEO of Amtrak says it will not make that deadline, but the technology will be installed before the end of the year. Limited train service will resume between New York and Philadelphia on Monday. The full service is expected to be up and running on Tuesday. Carrying up team, going to send it back to you.
Thanks, Nate. Islamic State militias captured the main government compound in Ramadi after furious clashes with security forces. ISIS militias also seized other parts of the city and are now attacking the Anbar Operation Command, the province headquarters. Families were forced to flee their homes in the area where at least 10 policemen were killed in the fighting and dozens of the security forces were wounded. The head of provincial council approved to the central government in Baghdad to send reinforcements and urged US-led coalition to increase airstrikes against the militias in Ramadi.
And North Korea has publicly executed its defense minister. According to a South Korean news agency, Hyun Chol was reportedly executed by anti-aircraft gunfire at a military school in front of hundreds of people. Hyun was executed after the regime accused him of treason. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un is accused of ordering the executions of as many as 15 top officials so far this year.
In New York, an attack on a police officer is caught on the video. A man is seen attacking innocent police with a hammer. He's been identified as 30-year-old David Barrel. He's a drifter with a history of the arrests and mental illness. On Wednesday, 2 officers approached Barrel for questioning. That's when he lashed out and attacked at them. He was shot at the scene and taken to the Bellevue Hospital where he is in critical condition.
And a 5th suspect has been arrested in the shooting death of 2 Mississippi police officers. 29-year-old Wade Pete Franklin is charged in connection with the fatal shooting. Franklin appeared in court Wednesday night. 34-year-old Benjamin Dean and 24-year-old Lickery Tate were shot during a traffic stop last Saturday. Of the 5 suspects charged, only 1 is accused of firing the fatal shots. The investigation is ongoing and the shooter's motives are still unclear.
Legendary guitarist B.B. King died Thursday night in Las Vegas. King announced that he was in home hospice care 2 weeks ago. Born Riley B. King, he became known as the B.B. King, with B.B. standing for Blues Boy. He has 30 Grammy nominations and 15 wins. King was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. He was a Grammy Lifetime Achievement Award, and he was awarded the Presidential Medal of the Freedom. B.B. King was 89 years old. And now we leave you with one of the famous hits of this guitarist.
And more than 6 million vehicles have been recalled due to faulty airbags. Toyota and Nissan recalled many of its cars after 6 deaths were reported in the United States and Malaysia. The malfunctioning airbags are made by the Japanese company Takata. Consumers say the bags have been exploding when deployed. Last summer, a pregnant woman was killed after a metal fragment from the airbag cut her in the neck. Toyota says it will replace any faulty airbags.
The search continues for a Fullerton couple missing since Mother's Day. 79-year-old Cecil Knudson and 67-year-old Diana Bedwell were last seen on security tape at the Valley View Casino in Valley Center. The couple's son says they are both diabetic and are possibly without their medications. Investigators have not ruled out foul play. The couple was last seen driving a 2014 white Hyundai Sonata. If you have any questions, please call the San Diego Sheriffs at 858-565-5200.
And police are asking for the public's help to identify 3 people who burglarized a Linda Vista house while the owners were at a funeral. Authorities have released these surveillance photos of the 3 burglars. The photos of the 3, 2 women and a man, were taken as they bought items with a credit card stolen from the house. The 3 stole nearly $30,000 worth of valuables from the house in the 6900 block of Wheatley Street. If you have any information, call Crime Stoppers at 888-580-8477.
Faculty, staff, and alumni of the City College Radio TV Film program are waiting for the Chancellor Constance Carroll to make a decision on whether to name the new C building after the department's founder, Professor Hope Shaw.
And the Oscar goes to Cameron Crowe for Almost Famous.
In her 38 years of working at City College, Professor Shaw was responsible for launching hundreds of the media careers, including film directors Cameron Crowe and news personalities like Lisa Lake. She retired in 2004 and died a year later in a drowning accident. Faculty, staff, and students have been meeting with administrators over the issue since 2010. A final decision is expected soon.
And you've heard this saying, a picture is worth 1,000 words. Well, some student photographers at City College are hoping that some of their work will inspire some sales to benefit the department. Janae Fulcher has the story.
A group of City College professors donated pieces of art for a silent auction this week. Among those that donated was David Etchinger, who is the mastermind behind such a remarkable idea.
Our annual student exhibit, it's juried by outside photographers. They come in and the work, we have about 400 prints submitted each year in different categories, and the jurors, the photographers, choose the best work, and then we give out the awards, which was last Friday night. And to help kind of reward the students and pay them back for all their major expenses for their portfolios, I decided to donate some prints, and other faculty did also.
City College photography student Hector Valdivia had the opportunity to showcase his art for the silent auction.
I put my blood, sweat, and tears into this portfolio and this artwork, and it's just so beneficial. It's such a great feeling just to be able to share it and kind of express myself.
Hector, as well as many other featured photography students, have offered to give 20% of their proceeds back to the photography department. The display will be up through the end of the semester, and the works are for sale. Janae Fulcher, Newscene.
The Lux Gallery is located on the 5th floor of the CTC building on the corner of 16th and C Street.
City College Associated Student Government election is being postponed. The result were supposed to be posted online a week after the elections took place, but has yet to happen. A representative from Student Affairs says coordinator Lori Oldham has been out sick, and that is the reason for the delay. It is reported Oldham is the only person who can provide information on this matter.
In downtown San Diego witnessed an emotional crowd as the 9/11 memorial flag made an appearance on Tuesday morning. The 700-square-foot flag created to honor the victims of the attack in 2001 by children and citizens in Pennsylvania. They have made the last stop in our city after its 13-year journey across the world. Organizers have decided it's time for the flag to be placed in one city. Over the years, the flag has made more than 100 stops, and now it's time to find its home. And the Memorial and Museum in New York City. Now it's time to see if these storms are here for the weekend. Here's Janae with your weather update.
Thank you, Carrie. Scattered thunderstorms have not only taken over San Diego, but other states as well. Texas was on flash flood alert as they experienced some wet weather, but the worst part of that storm has moved to the upper parts of Texas as well as the panhandle of Oklahoma and into the Central Plains here of the United States. And May is tornado season for these areas, so they are on high alert for possible touchdowns. Now, if you are flying in or out of these areas, you may want to double check with your airline provider for flight delays and updates. And now we have your nation's forecast. As we head over to the East Coast, Boston at 68, New York 79. Moving down to Charlotte, North Carolina, it's 83. Tampa, 88. Headed over to New Orleans, it's 85. And as I mentioned, in this the Plains region and the Panhandle, there's experienced some thunderstorms, and they're at 79 in Kansas City, 74 in Oklahoma. Headed up to Denver, we're at 61, so it's a little cooler for this time of year. 62 in Albuquerque. Heading over west, we're at 57 in Salt Lake, 67 in Reno, it's not too bad, 78 in Las Vegas, 78 in Phoenix, and headed over to our California region, it's 67, and down to San Diego, it'll be in the 50s and 60s. Headed up to San Francisco, 63, and these areas have had some much needed rain, and here's your weekend forecast. We've gotten some much needed rain for San Diego. We've been in a drought these past few years, and here's your weekend forecast. You're 63 for tonight. Saturday, you're at 64, 57 is your low. Sunday, it'll be nice and sunny, 66 with a low of 58. And Obteen and Carrie, back to you.
Thank you, Janae. Now, in 2013, a Scottish filmmaker, Ryan McHenry, created several short videos through Vine showing him offering actor Ryan Gosling a spoonful of cereal. They went viral over the past 2 years and caught the attention of the famous actor. During that time, McHenry was diagnosed with cancer. This past Sunday, his family announced on Twitter that he died after the 2-year battle. And in tribute to the popular Viner, Gosling made a Vine of himself pouring a bowl of cereal and finally eating it. The Vine currently has under 50 million views.
And now we leave you with one of the old famous hits of the legendary guitarist B.B. King.
And that's it for this edition of Newscene. I'm Carrie Bryant.
And I'm Abdi Mohammadi. Have a great weekend. See you next time.